Life is a sandbox. Don't poop in it.
Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast. I am Spencer Cartier.
And I am Helen Keller.
Oh, jeez. And this here is Frank, looking like Magic Frank today, wearing his sexy construction outfit. And today
One of the village people.
Are you going to be blind?
Am I on? No, I'm not. I'm just not done building.
Okay. It is the last. It's Good Friday. Holy cow. Don't worry. You just
Holy cow.
You do your thing.
I don't think you can eat meat on Friday.
Holy fish.
Smoked salmon.
It is Good Friday, the last day of our Lenten podcast, and you are watching in real time the 21 hats, adding a hat for every podcast. And you are watching how it is being built, and it is quite a sight to behold. You did it. I wouldn't say you did it quite yet until your eyes are out, but there it is.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay.
Adding a hat for every podcast.
It's very top heavy to the back.
yeah, it looks it. So we started with one hat. Every podcast, we added another hat. There's been 21 podcasts in these Lenten podcasts.
Yes.
And you have reached the promised land. You have reached the land of milk and honey. How do you feel?
I am going to Disneyland.
Disneyland's in California.
Go to Disney World. I think people should try it because I can't hear at all.
It's okay.
It is a challenge.
Yeah, it is.
It's a challenge, but it makes you feel like you're doing something.
You definitely did something.
I did
Physical, tangible. The whole time you're like, why am I doing this? Oh, yeah, it's because I am remembering the story of Jesus.
Yeah.
The Lenten story. And just as he sacrificed, you sacrificed your hearing and your
sight, my
stability.
Head pain. Yesterday I had marks after the show.
Yeah, it's making my little TikTok give up seem not as meaningful as that.
No, don't say that about yourself.
Here we are. 22 hats on your head.
21.
21 hats on your head. 23 hats on the podcast. We have got here. But
oh, you're right. We all have hat on.
Guys, it is Friday. It is Good Friday. A great day. Yes. Good Friday. Great day.
Yes.
Even better podcast.
Right.
Last Friday. So this Sunday's Easter Sunday.
Yep.
It's called Holy Week for a reason. It's a holy week.
Yes.
And we are just excited to be here. Excited that you are here to join us.
Here to join us.
Let those who have ears let them hear, and you do not.
Right.
So, yeah. How you guys doing? We've had a good week. We've actually had a little bit of a spicy week.
Have we?
Yeah. It's been enemies on Wednesday. On Friday, we're talking about burning coals on our enemy's head.
Yeah.
And today we're going to lighten the mood. It's Good Friday. We're all in a good mood.
Yeah. Good Friday is usually somber occasion where you're not really raising the roof, but Croak and Crow is. Hey,
I didn't say we were going to party
because we know how the story ends.
We do, yeah, I know. We're a little bit foreshadowing. Guess what? He comes back. No, what I mean is it's not a celebration quite like the 4th of July,
right?
But it is a time for us to come together and think about the sacrifice that Jesus made for us, because that's what it's all about. But
speaking of that, did you get the clip I sent you of the chess player being pranked?
I did.
Of course, that's not a segue.
No, that was just.
What happened?
The guy who's behind him went up to his carbonated water.
Okay. And
shook it up. Okay. And this guy, he's the best chess player in the world.
Uh-huh.
And the funny part about it is, he's very serious.
Yeah.
And so he walks around and mentally prepares himself.
He looks young. Is he a young guy?
I don't know his age.
Okay.
Probably older than you think.
I think of the best chess player in the world being 75 years old.
No, because their brain starts getting decrepit.
Okay.
And then he goes and he sits down. And he's like, I'm ready. It's game time.
Yeah.
Opens up his carbonated water like he always does. And then, and you even saw a little laugh come out of him.
I'm surprised
that he laughed?
That he took it well. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Even after, I was like, ooh, that could have, because he even had to get up and I need to go do my routine again to get back in the headspace. But here it is.
with Sergei Karyakin taking on the world champ with the white pieces, and that was the funniest moment of perhaps the entire Norway chess event. The rumor is that Vladimir Kramnik, who you just saw there laughing, shook up the water bottle before Carlsen came to the table.
But anyway, guys, it is Friday. It is Good Friday. It is just a happy time
for non-Catholics. It's April 15th, which should be tax day.
But it's tax day?
It's not tax day, but like
it is tax day.
But how come we don't have to pay till this isn't America? We have to file our taxes every year. It's Monday now, right?
No. Oh no, we got pushed back.
That's what I was confused.
It got pushed back to the 18th.
I know the word April 15th, and then this year people are like, we can do it on Monday. I'm like,
yeah, it got pushed back.
What? That's not much of a pushback. How helpful is that? You have the weekend?
Yeah, I have the weekend. How much? What do you want them to do? Just say like, oh, let's push back a month?
Yeah. Speaking of pushback, student loans are being pushed back till September.
Okay, you know what? Biden, just keep pushing them back forever. How about you push them back till never?
Cancel all student debt, every single penny for every single person.
I don't know.
How dare you?
I don't know. I have a lot of student debt, and I would love to see it canceled. I guess I'm a little naive. Why are we canceling that?
Okay. If you need to know why we're canceling it, just go follow Bernie Sanders' Instagram, and he'll explain it to you. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It's cut and clear. He's very smart. You said people who get older get their minds decrepit. I think you might get some pushback on that. He's old and he's not decrepit.
Yeah.
And greater things have happened.
Well, hey, I'm for the canceling of student debt, and I hear what you're saying. It's they have the ability to do it.
Yes.
And so do it.
Yes.
And it's not just like, oh, we don't want to pay. We don't want to pay. Do us a favor. We believe everyone should be educated.
Yes.
Educated minds are powerful minds.
Yes.
In all aspects. This is what we talk about in spirituality. It's what we talk about in Walk Through Thursday. It's the same way of there shouldn't be a few people who are spiritually educated and everyone else has to say, okay.
Can you tell me what went on there?
We live in a society now where it's like, it's not just politicians who can understand world affairs. It's we can do our own research.
Right.
And so why are we not pushing to make that the norm?
Right.
Why are we not pushing for higher education to be accessible if you choose to go down that path?
Right.
But that's enough of that. Anything else? I'll tell you something else. It's National Titanic Remembrance Day.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why did it happen at this time?
I don't know.
Well, that would make sense.
Maybe.
But sometimes they don't make sense. They don't coincide with.
Yeah. I'm not sure. All I know is it's National Titanic Remembrance Day. My favorite movie.
My favorite remembrance.
My favorite boat.
When the ship sank.
Yeah. The favorite part of that boat was when it sank. Because when it sank, that caused a domino effect that led to
Spencer being born.
Yeah, butterfly effect. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet on screen making art. That was just the greatest movie ever. If the Titanic never sank, there never would be the movie. If there was never the movie, I would be depressed.
Okay.
And that movie saved my life.
And that's the silver lining.
That's the silver lining. Speaking of silver linings, how about Bradley Cooper?
What's he doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sure, he's doing okay.
Local connection. Bradley Cooper.
He grew up a few blocks down from where I live.
He literally grew up in our neighborhood. And did he ever go to public school?
No, he's too good for public school.
Okay. So he went to
He went to Germantown.
Friends.
And then he went to
Germantown
LaSalle.
Friends? I thought he went to Abington Friends. He went to the Quaker school. Very pricey. Even though I think his dad was a cop. Are you sure he never went to public school at all?
Never went to public school.
Oh, Bradley.
Then he went to LaSalle.
Brad.
And then he left completely.
Thanks
for nothing.
Hold on. I had something to say about Bradley Cooper. He just encouraged somebody. God damn it. Who was it? It wasn't Will Smith. It was someone else. And I thought, what's he just going around encouraging everybody? Literally, I got it. Thank you. Brad Pitt thanked Bradley Cooper for helping him get sober.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Bradley Cooper sober?
I don't know.
He can't be. I watched Star is Born.
As a character.
Well, good for him. You know, Brad's helping Brad's. You love to see it. But anyway, guys, today's a super special.
Oh my gosh, why is there a knife in the book?
Today, because it's Friday.
Okay.
Today's a super, and I was making a comparison to when Peter cuts the ear of the Roman soldier who was coming after Jesus during this week.
You're right.
And he said,
in the garden.
Cha! And then Jesus said, no, put that knife down.
Yeah.
Touches the ear is healed. Roman soldier's like, humana,
Yeah.
what?
Thank you, and you're arrested.
Thank you. I'm a little more confused about arresting you.
Yeah.
Still gonna arrest you. Pontius Pilate and all that.
Yeah.
We're reading Dr. Seuss. Oh, it's Dr. Seuss Friday. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on.
Friday.
Guys, it is Dr. Seuss Friday. If you don't already know what we do on Dr. Seuss Friday, Good Friday, Dr. Seuss Friday, we are reading a Dr. Seuss book, just as we have for the past, how many weeks?
I think this will be 17.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of books.
Yeah.
So it's been going on for about 2 months.
Yeah.
Give or take. And every Friday we read a Dr. Seuss book with our big adult minds. And you kind of look like a Dr. Seuss character with
How
all
can
those hats.
17 be 2 months?
There's 4, 8, 12. Okay, it's like 4 months.
Yeah.
Wow, time flies. Time flies when you're reading Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we were podcasting for 4 months.
Good old Dr. Seuss.
Well, so we pick a Dr. Seuss book and we read it with our big adult minds. Dr. Seuss was a smart guy.
Yes.
And we try to get some meaning out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be like, how can you get meaning out of Dr. Seuss? And I could explain it to you. Or I could just say, we've done it for 17 weeks now, and we've gotten meaning out of it every single time. So just take our word for it and read Dr. Seuss with us.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a message. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
So, as you know, we are reading Yertle the Turtle and Other Stories. We like to get the compound books now because otherwise the stack of Dr. Seuss books in our library is getting a little big.
Yeah.
So, this is Yertle the Turtle and more stories, a lot of which you might not have heard about before.
Yeah.
It's not the mainstream stories. If you're here to listen to Cat in the Hat or One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, then you are in the wrong place because we read the obscure. We read the untold.
Yeah.
We read, this will be a good time to say what we're reading today. We read Gertrude McFuzz.
That's who I should have been today.
You should have been Gertrude McFuzz.
Gertrude McFuzz.
Do you want to change it? Who are you?
Gertrude McFuzz.
Gertrude McFuzz. We are reading Gertrude McFuzz. Have you ever heard about this before?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. I'm excited to learn.
Yeah.
Without further ado.
You never hear the name Gertrude
Isn't
anymore.
do a French word?
Yeah. Isn't it ADIEU?
Yeah.
Adieu. Adieu. Adieu.
To
Adieu.
you
Adieu.
and you and you.
Yeah.
Adieu. Adieu. To you and you.
and
What is that for? Is that
I think
Beauty
we're
and the
singing
Beast?
Sound of Music.
Maybe.
I don't know.
All right. Gertrude McFuzz. There once was a girl bird named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail that ever was. One droopy droop feather, that's all that she had, and oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that she knew, a fancy young birdie named Lala Lee Loo. And instead of one feather, behind she had two. Poor Gertrude, whenever she happened to spy Miss Lola Lee Loo flying up by in the sky, she got very jealous, she frowned and she pouted. Then one day she got awfully mad and she shouted, "This just isn't fair, I have one, she has two. I must have a tail like Lola Lee Loo." So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dake, whose office was high in a tree by the lake. And she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh please do you know of some kind of pill that will make my tail grow?" "Tut, tut," said the doctor, "such talk, how absurd. Your tail is just right for your kind of a bird." Then Gertrude had tantrums, she raised such a din. Then finally her uncle, the doctor, gave in. And he told her just where she could find such a pill, on a pillberry vine on the top of the hill. "Oh, thank you," chirped Gertrude McFuzz, as she flew right straight to the hill where the pillberry grew. Yes, there was the vine as soon as she saw it. She plucked off a berry, she started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful, almost made her sick, but she wanted that tail, so she swallowed it quick. Then she felt something happen, she felt a small twitch, as if she'd been tapped down behind by a switch. And Gertrude looked round and she cheered, it was true. 2 feathers, exactly like Lola Lee Loo. Then she got an idea, now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than Lola Lee Loo. These pills that grow feathers are working just fine, so she nibbled another one off of the vine. She felt a new twitch, then Gertrude yelled, "Wee!" Miss Lola had only just 2. I have 3. When Lola Lee Lou sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face, sure enough. I'll show her who's pretty, I certainly will. Why, I'll make my tail even prettier still. She snatched at those berries and that grew on that vine. She gobbled down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And she didn't stop eating on Gertrude McFuzz till she'd eaten 3 dozen. That's all that there was. Then the feathers popped out with a zang, with a zing. They blossomed like flowers that bloom in the spring. All fit for a queen, what a sight to behold. They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops and gold. Like silk, like spaghetti, like satin, like lace. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished in the breeze. And some were as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown, when finally they stopped. And now, giggled Gertrude, the next thing to do is to fly right straight home and show Lola Lee Lou. And when Lola sees these, why, her face will get red, and she'll let out a scream and she'll fall right down dead. Then she spread out her wings to take off from the ground, but with all those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled and she let out a squawk, but that bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And although that night she was stuck on that hill, and Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still, if her good Uncle Dake hadn't heard the girl yelp, he rushed to her rescue and brought along help. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks, and to fly her back home it took almost 2 weeks. And then it took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. My Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all of the pulling was done, Gertrude behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter, but now that's enough because now she is smarter.
Whoa.
Gertrude McFuzz.
And Spencer's bookmark.
Okay. I like that story.
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, I just see it surfacely as be happy with yourself. And, it kind of, I was thinking when her motivation was her main motivation to make the other girl jealous, because that's not a good motivation. Yeah,
no, I don't know if it was I think it turned into a jealousy thing.
Oh, okay.
But I think to start, what I would say is this comparison thing. If all of the birds had one feather, she would never have a problem with one feather.
Okay.
And but she said, well, she has 2. Now my one's not looking that great. And we've talked before about how comparison is a thief of joy.
Right.
And it only took her to be smarter to realize that she's happy with herself, and it's not about comparing yourself to others. Right. And even her uncle, like I feel like you have that with comparisons where it's like people will in your corner will tell you like,
right,
you have everything you need. You have what's perfect for you. Yeah. And then you're like, well, okay, but they have 2 feathers and I have 1, so obviously you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And it's like, well, they did know what they were talking about.
Yeah, when you ask someone's opinion, but then you badger them so long for them to agree with you. So you really don't have their opinion anymore. You have them trying to shut you up by agreeing with you.
Yeah.
And that's not getting on it. That's not wanting honesty, and it's not getting honesty. It's just, trying to get what you want. But she also, so the doctor said, don't do it. And then she badgered him and he said, okay, do it. But then she overdosed.
Yeah.
So he didn't suggest that she was she was eating all of the berry pills, whatever they were.
And I think that's important to note in the sense of what happens when your mind starts in the wrong place, right? Yeah. Like there was no problem if she ate a berry and got another feather, right?
Right.
But the fact that she was going from a place of comparison, a place of jealousy,
right?
That's, I think, when things can get out of control. I'll compare it to going to the gym.
Okay.
If you're going to the gym, so Gertrude, she might have wanted another feather for herself. Like, this will make me feel better.
That's what I was wondering. Are we condemning anything to, are we condemning changing yourself?
No, we're not. And so that's what I think that's what it's where it's coming from. So at the gym, I want to go to the gym because I want to live in a more fit life. I want to be stronger so I can do more things for myself.
Right.
If I was by myself, isolated on an island, I would want to be stronger, and I can lift more coconuts, and I could build a better shelter with my strength. If inversely, I go to the gym and I go to the, I want to be bigger, stronger. I see big guys like, well, look how big he is. I want to be bigger than him.
Right.
And if that's your only motivation, that's when you can, I'll start taking steroids. I'll start doing this. Right. And it's like you are solely focused on the wrong thing. And so then that's when you see, I'm going to eat more berries. I'm going to do this. Yeah. It's like, what is he doing? I'm going to do more than that. And it defeats the purpose of, it's not even for you anymore.
Right.
And you're not caring about your body. You know, the same way with steroids, it's like, if you're looking at other guys, like, I want to be bigger than them. The same way her tail was too much. It's like, you can do such a harm to your body.
Right.
And even though in the beginning, what you wanted was to be strong, you've lost sight of that. And now you have created more of a problem for yourself. And it all started from this place of comparison rather than self-improvement.
Right. What do you think spiritually?
Well, spiritually, I think I have
a question about she was unable to withstand the blessing that she got, right? It was too heavy and she needed help to remove it. She got more than she bargained for. Be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for.
What would that be spiritually?
Well, so I'm going to dial back a bit. I'm not going to go straight to spiritually in the sense of fully spiritually, but I am going to say with spirituality, I see this a lot as when you worry too much about earthly things and earthly comparisons, it takes away from your ability to be spiritual, right?
Right.
So let's look at it for like money, right? She had a small tail, but it was enough. Like it was meant for her. So we're not saying she like couldn't fly or something. She wanted wings.
Right.
And she was worried about an earthly thing.
Okay. And
so let's compare it to money. Because we talk about there's no problem with having money. There's no problem, if you are little Sulu and you were born in a better place.
Yeah.
But she's so focused on it. And then she gets this greed and this like
greed was definitely in the book.
And this earthly, you're not even worried about yourself anymore. So
there's a lot of greed in Dr. Seuss stories.
Yeah. And it's like I want more. And I'll compare it spiritually in the sense of you worry so much about the earthly,
right,
that it weighs you down. Like if you just want to imagine flying, like, earthly and then spiritual, it's like you. Oh yeah. And then so I think that's more of because we're like not against money. Money. We're not against money, and so it's like, okay, well, you can show us 1,000 scripture about get rid of all your money.
Right.
It's harder for a rich man to go to heaven. And I think it's more this is what it's talking about. Yeah. Look at the tail as money. Right. And it's like, it's okay. Oh, you want a tail. But when you get this greed, you can no longer even fly because that's all you've been focusing on.
Yes.
And your eyes have been.
Never enough. That's why she kept, one feather, two feather, three feather.
It's never enough. And then it's, you were so focused on this earthly goal that you completely lost track of what was really important. Yeah. And that's, like, your self-love, and then if you want to compare it to your spirituality and stuff, right, and you were focused on completely the wrong thing, that you can't, you can't take it with you. Like people say that about heaven. Mm-hmm. It's great. You have all these tails now. You have all this money. Let's say, you can't take it with you. You can't fly away with it.
Right. Oh yeah, you're right.
You can't. That's not. You could have been focused on the right things, and yet you're focused on the wrong things. And now look at you. You're so happy, and you want to show off your money, but that's just that. It's earthly. It's stuck to the ground. It's stuck to earth, and you can't fly away.
That's really good. I was trying to think of this Bible verse that was something about. It's like 3 things that are never enough: the grave, fire. I can't think of the third one, and I don't even know how it applies. But you're talking about earthly a lot, and earthly, worldly. People use them interchangeably, and in a spiritual sense, they use them as a bad thing.
Yes.
Okay, so I just saw a post, and it was talking about, I think Germany, the Catholic Church in Germany is being reprimanded, or I have to look it back up. You know me, I'm just the headline queen, and I don't know what the article says, but it seemed to be that they were being reprimanded for changing in ways to serve the people of earth at this time and the way the world is communicating and taking in this knowledge, right? And like I said, I have to look it back up because but whatever it was, and the people in the comments were all saying like, boo on them, and I wrote, but so they were kind of putting down the world, and the people of the world, and it's only scripture, and I wrote, the world is God's, and the world's people are God's people. That's all I wrote. I didn't write therefore. I just let people make up their own mind. People made their own therefores, and they attacked me and said, "You're a sinner and the devil incarnate." But do you understand what I was trying to say? Like, if you always put down the world and the earth, are you putting down the souls that are living here in the time that God told us to live here?
Yeah, you are. I mean, and it's like any kind of father. It's like he created this, he created us, and it's like if you're like, when a parent gets mad and it's like, oh, you're a reflection of me, right? And so we all on earth are a reflection of him, right? Like, yeah. And so to put the earth down and earthly things down so much, you're putting down God's. We didn't exist simultaneously with God. The earth didn't exist simultaneously. It was created by him, right? And so we do have free choice, and we can do things that would go against what he wanted for us, right? But to put it down and condemn it is kind of weird in the sense of.
So how do you talk to yourself about the earth is a blessing and it's a place where we're supposed to be, and give unto Caesar, and also don't fall into earthly ways, don't fall into valuing earth. Like, how do you bring yourself together to so that you can live in both worlds, which is one world?
Well, I mean, like I think I try to see it like a parent-child relationship, and so it's like we're given, as children, we're given freedom, and so it's what we do with that. Like, we are in this sandbox that we were put on a playground in a sandbox, mm-hmm. and so it like you can't value it too much of like, this sandbox is my home. It's like, well, no, my home is my home. Okay. I was brought here by my father to the sandbox that he made in the backyard, and everything I do in the sandbox, I don't want to, kick sand in another kid's face. Okay. I want to do things that would honor my father. So when I go back home, it's not, why did you do all those things when I gave you the freedom for recess? And it's like
Christianity simplified.
Christianity simplified. We're all just kids on the playground.
That's great.
That's the way I see it. But
that's great. And then of course, to lose sight of who built the sandbox, to lose sight of, like you said, this isn't your forever home, but you still want to be respectful to the people there and even yourself.
Yeah. Life is a sandbox, or life is a playground. We're just playing in the sandbox. Quoted. Life is a sandbox. Don't poop in it. And on that, when we were little, there was a lot more outdoor cats. And my mom would always say, you can't have a sandbox, cats will poop in it, because it makes sense. Natural litter box out there. You don't really see cats so much in our neighborhood. Well, there probably wasn't even cats in your neighborhood. It's probably you and your siblings. No, it was not. All right, guys, that was Dr. Seuss Friday, but it is Good Friday, so you go out and reflect and enjoy enjoy the rest of the Holy Week. Easter Sunday, we won't see you, so have a blessed Easter. Hope you enjoy it however you see fit. And we'll be back next week. What's going to happen? Are you going to have one hat? No hats? Give your head a break? Tune in and see next Wednesday. Peace, guys.